Hello, my name is Nicholas Tito, and I'm choosing the vlog option for Mini Essay 2. What is your culture for the class COM2053? And so let's just get straight into it by me showing you the artwork of the tattoo sleeve of the cultural markers. So the first one on the list is ethnicity. Yes, ethnicity, which is this right here. This is the bird symbol from Peruvian culture, which stands for love and fertility. So that also has, this symbol has had a pretty big influence on my life. I put in a lot of my artworks. I just think it's really cool. Then it's race. I put the Peruvian flag because I'm Hispanic, and if you're Peruvian, you're Hispanic. For age, I put my age over here. I'm 17 at the time of recording this. And my gender, I put it right here. I am a male. My status, I actually put right here. And I consider myself kind of a middle class status, so I put a car here because thankfully we have the luxury of having a car. Sexual orientation, here I put the straight flag. Interests, I put a skateboard because I love skating, and a pencil because I love drawing and writing. For physical and mental ability, I decided to make a little bit of a silly drawing. I made a brain with glasses and strong arms because I like to think of myself working towards that goal every single day, and I'll get there one day. I'm not super buff yet or patient as I want to be, but I will be one day, and that is a goal that I do in fact have in mind. So then this geographic location, I didn't know what exactly I could have put, so I put the country of Peru, as you can tell, because I colored it in. This is kind of the outline of the country of Peru. And yeah, for attitudes, I drew 2 hearts here to show that I like to put love wherever I go. And I also put a smiley face right here because, in my opinion, who doesn't love a good smile? So then there's beliefs. I am a Catholic, so I put the cross here, and my values also kind of aligns with the heart as well and the smiling. So this is my artwork. This is my cultural sleeve. I like it. I think it's pretty nice. I think it's nice. So it says that in this paper, I have to identify the cultural markers, which I did, and then I have to use the following questions that I will be reading out to you to help me kind of construct the definition of kind of how I see myself as a cultural being, and just how that affects my communication style, and I'm just gonna be examining my own cultural identity. So let's just get straight into it. I already answered some of the questions, but I'm gonna say them again just for good measure. What are my racial, ethnic, and national origins? So I am Hispanic and I am Peruvian, and I'm proud to be one. My national origins, well, my family is from Peru. They immigrated over here, and I was born here. So I am technically an American. Well, not technically. Legally, I'm legally an American. But I do wonder how my life would have been different if I'd been born in Peru instead, which will bring me to another question later. How does my class and gender define me? To be honest, they don't define me as much. Throughout all the stages of my life, I have kind of been the same. There have been times where I have had no money, with my family and I have had no money, and I still remain the same. My gender hasn't really affected me all that much. I think that I think genders should be treated equal. I know that's a crazy thing to say. It's not. I think that all genders should be treated equal, and that love should be spread wherever you go. So, equality, guys. Let's keep it up. What sexual orientation do I identify with most? I am straight. However, I am, like I said, I spread love everywhere I go. So, I am an ally. And everyone that I've met that isn't straight is awesome. So, yeah. I wouldn't say that defines me in any way. It's just another part of me. Then are there any particular stories I remember from childhood that have helped to define me? A really simple one, actually. As soon as I was born in the US, I was immediately shipped off to Peru for a couple of months. And this story, for some reason, gets brought up a lot because it really affected how kind of my situation in, like, living in America. It just affected it greatly. I don't know why, but it's kind of like the butterfly effect. If I hadn't gone to Peru as soon as I had been born, a lot of more financial struggles would have been placed on my family. So I guess it was a good thing that I went to Peru for the first couple months of my life. Are there any particular rituals I remember from childhood that helped to define me? Not rituals, but something my grandpa would say to me, or it still does say to me if I mess up on something. And it's no me falles, which translates to, in English, don't fail me. Which kind of motivates me a lot, because he always does point out if I'm doing something wrong, or if we both know that I can do better at something and that I'm just not putting the effort in to do it, which really means a lot, actually, now that I think about it. But yes, love my grandpa. He's awesome. He has taught me a lot about life and has shaped me a lot to who I am today, because he is awesome. So then it says, the paper finally concludes with, how does my personal culture profile affect my relationship to American culture? Now, because I live in Florida, there are a lot of Hispanics here, and there are a lot of accepting people here. So, me personally, I wouldn't say there has been too much of a how do I word this? I'm not labeled as like an X, you know. I'm not labeled as an extra or just someone that happens to be there. I'm someone that is there and that is present in the moment, and that everyone acknowledges that, and I acknowledge that to everyone. People I hang out with, and just overall very accepting, and people love people. But in terms of American culture, it can feel a little bit disheartening, because, well, especially in 2025 with all of the ICE, all the ICE drama, and then of course just blatant racism, it can be discouraging at times. There was a time where everything was so bad that, you know, me and several friends of mine who are also Hispanic and Latino and Latina, and, you know, we shared a small fear that we would get profiled, but thankfully where I live is an accepting community and not a place where it can get out of hand, to put it simply. So I'm very grateful for that. However, sadly I've been informed that it has not been too fortunate for other people, which makes me like a sad silence, I guess I would describe it. So, but then there are good parts, people love people, like I said, and you just gotta keep it pushing. No me falles. Don't fail me. How does my personal culture profile affect how I interact both informally with friends and family and in more formal settings, as for example an internship, the classroom, or a club? Informally, I am me. I will be me. If I like you, I will treat you with respect. If I don't like you, I will treat you with respect. I made it a mission of mine to spread love wherever I go. So I guess I tried to be someone that somebody could look up to in a hard time, or just seen as someone that can help you. That is my goal. But informally, I'm just me. I will always be me, and hopefully nothing will ever change me. That's pretty much how I interact with my friends and family. They just know me as Nicholas Tita. I mean, to put it in the words of my brother, dumb but funny and kind, and then also smart. So he contradicts himself with that one. I'm winning. Sorry. Okay, but in more formal settings, it doesn't super affect me and how I speak to someone formally, because like I just said, if I'm talking to someone informally, even if I don't like you, I'm going to talk to you with respect, and I carry that same attitude towards the more formal settings, like an internship or a classroom or a club. So they both kind of the same, just treat everyone with respect and love, spread love. I just, instead of making, dumb jokes here and there, you actually take everything not super seriously, but you take everything slightly more seriously than you would if you're out hanging out with your friends or playing with your dog. It's different. It's similar. If I'm informal, I'm obviously more casual. I still show respect to everybody, friends and family. If I'm in a more formal setting, I just polish myself up a bit, like you would going to a job interview, because that's how you should do it. At least I think, because you should always, again, be respectful, be mindful. Obviously there are different scenarios. Internship is different than a classroom, which is different than a club. You obviously adjust yourself to each of those different situations to more to kind of like show your morals. And my morals, like I said, show respect and show kindness and mindfulness and to smile. Not to sound like a broken record. Sorry. But oh, sorry. I just realized. I just answered the last question. So to sum it up very quickly, how I guess I've examined my own cultural identity and how I would describe how I would define myself as a cultural being. I would say I am a very free person. Although I am grounded in my morals and I will stand by them. And there will only be very few situations where those morals will be tested. Because, again, I am grounded in my morals and I don't plan on changing them. Because of just who I am as a person, my background, a little bit of my religion, and just the people I hang around with. Respect will get you so much farther in the long run than hate. And I stand by that saying. I'm a very free but grounded person. I enjoy a lot of things, and I choose to see the beauty in even the mundane than see all the negativeness in everything. Because why live like that if you only have one life? And how it affects my communication style, I wouldn't say it really affects my let me rephrase that. There are not many situations where I will have to fully adapt my communication style because of my cultural identity. For example, in a classroom, you can be yourself with the students and the teachers, but doesn't mean because, for example, I like skating, I bring my skateboard, I'm just gonna be riding around the class the entire time. No, that's disrespectful to the teacher and to the students. So you polish yourself, or you adapt yourself to better fit that situation. So I wouldn't say it fully affects my communication style, other than adapting to the situation and still upholding by my morals. And to, I guess, show once again, this is my cultural tattoo sleeve artwork. And here's my signature for the artwork. Nice. But yes, that's pretty much about it. Thank you.